to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I didn't hear you.
Thank you.
What?
Green card, please, of the roll call.
Councilmember Cooper?
Here.
Councilmember Shai?
Yes.
Councilmember Lau?
Here.
Mayor Gunderson?
Here.
Councilmember Jones?
Here.
All present. Next, we move into the approval of the agenda. Need a motion support, bring that to the floor.
So moved. Support.
We do have some amendments tonight. We need to, under the item 5 or 6, B, we have a guest tonight. We need to enter in Bruce Firestein. He will be talking on the DDA. And then under item E, under consent agenda, we will be setting a public hearing for the fiscal year 2015-16 budget for May 5th of 2015. And then we will be removing the closed session. That was the last action item, or last item on the agenda other than adjournment. So with that being said, can I get is there any other additions? Hearing none, I'd ask for a vote on the amended agenda.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Shai?
Yes.
Mr. Lau?
Yes.
Mr. Gunderson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Amended agenda passed 5-0. Next we'll move into public comment. Anybody wishing to comment on any agenda item, please step to the podium and name and address for the record, please. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Next we'll move into the proclamation. The Arbor Day Proclamation, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture to set it that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees reduce the erosion to our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heat and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of the business area, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the city of Belding has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for the 11th year and desires to continue its tree planting practices. Now therefore, I, Ronald Gunderson, Mayor of the City of Belding, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2015 as Arbor Day in the City of Belding and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of this in future generations. Okay. Next, we'll move into our guest. Bruce, it's your time to shine.
What I'm here tonight, on behalf of Sharon Carlson, she is the chairperson of the Downtown Development Authority. And Bruce will kind of help me, I hope. Everyone's got a copy of this tonight, the proposal and such. The council members, rather. Or well. Anyway, what I wanted to do is just do a brief summary of the DDA, kind of what we've done. I just kind of, this is a real brief summary of a huge act and such, so bear with me and I'll answer any questions I can afterwards. Basically, the Michigan legislature passed the Downtown Development Authority Act in 1975. Its goal then was to prevent deterioration of downtowns, encourage historic preservation, and promote economic development. Part of the act, it allowed for an assessment and included downtown properties and allowed for the use of the tax increment financing to accomplish authority objectives. That was passed in '75. In 1983, Belding created its Downtown Development Authority. At that time, it did not levy an assessment, it did not create a tax increment finance district, and it developed a huge area, a very large area for its development district, what was our downtown development area. In 2006, the city of Belding created the tax increment finance district, coterminous with the DDA development district. The gist of it is to start this tax increment finance authority, or district rather. With the demise of the Covered Village Mall and some of the disinvestment that followed downtown, both of these acts, or both of these programs have just kind of ground to a halt and stopped. The DDA, along with that, was just kind of there and didn't do a lot. In 2014, the DDA developed a series of public place meetings with Belding residents to determine to amend the development plan and the tax increment financing plan to create a source of income that could be used to improve the downtown area. That was done last summer during the Music in the Park, where you did the pennies and gave your input, and that was all summarized here. The plan you folks see before you tonight would significantly reduce the size of the development area and would create almost $900,000 to be used to improve the downtown area over the next 30 years. This does not include an assessment on downtown properties, and it does not result in a tax increase for downtown businesses, since this increment is a method of capturing taxes that are already levied and using the difference between the 2006 base value and the 2015 taxable values for eligible activities in the downtown area. State law requires that a specific process be followed making such changes, including a public hearing on the matter, which is scheduled, I believe, for the City Council meeting on May 19th. Copies of this plan proposed will be available in the library and the city's clerk's office for public review. Just briefly, I think if you ask the average person walking the streets of Belding today what the DDA is, 90% of them would say it's a veterans organization. It's not. It's strictly geared towards the downtown. This plan is not perfect. It's not cast in stone. And people have to understand that the Downtown Development Authority was created by the state government. It's not something the city of Belding decided. It's not something we just did on a whim. We can't take over property, we can't close businesses, we can't open, we're here to help. Again, it's a huge act, but we've kind of condensed it very simply. But it's got a lot of potential. I mean, like everyone in this room, something's got to give soon, and we need to create, for lack of better terms, a better Belding. Is it perfect? No, but it's a start. And a wise man that became a multimillionaire that I used to work for said you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And I think this is a good first step, and we got to do something. So, any questions?
I think one thing I'd like to throw in there, Bruce, is that the DDA did work hard on this. It's been ongoing, and the whole thing is really a vision. It's something, that we're going to do within, within the future, but it's strictly a vision. There's nothing etched in stone, as Bruce said. It's strictly what is mandated and what we're doing here at the DDA level. So,
And Belding is special because we don't have a typical old downtown. We've got something different, so we got to be creative. It was created back then when it was done. You can argue if it was right, wrong, good or bad. But as I told Bruce earlier today, this is your heart of your downtown. And as you folks know, if your heart is not good, the rest of your body's not going to be good. So we've got to do something. So I appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we'll move into the consent agenda. We have 5 items on the consent agenda. Can you get a motion of support, bring us to the floor?
Support.
Any separation? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Mr. Scheid?
Yes.
Mr. Lello?
Yes.
Mr. Gunderson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes. Next, we'll move into consent agenda passed 5-0. Next, we'll move into liaison reports. Dennis?
We haven't had a rec meeting since our last meeting that I reported on.
Thank you. Mike?
Housing Commission had their meeting last week. They were down to only 2 empties and they had 3 people unexpectedly leave. They're up to 5. got their plan done that they have to send into HUD on what they're going to do and stuff. Just, it's normal every year how to run the place and stuff, but this time it's a 5-year plan. Because they have to do a 5-year plan, they have to predict what's going on. Well, none of us have a crystal ball, so it ain't gonna happen, but they've laid out some things that they need to do and some things that they would want to do. And possibly this year, it sounds like they're gonna get a little more money, because they had really cut them hard in the last 5-6 years. And it sounds like they're gonna get some back this year, so maybe some of the things that they need to get done, they will be able to get done. Because there's some stuff where there needs work, but the guys that do the maintenance over there work very hard, and they keep it looking pretty good. But there's some paving that needs to be done over there, and some other things that just, they can't take it out of the regular budget until they get some extra money coming in. So hopefully, when they do start doing the payouts this year, HUD will give them the extra money. The problem they've got is that HUD looks at these housing commissions, and they've cut over $100,000 out of their budget every year for the last 5 years. But it doesn't matter whether it's this little one like Belding, or if it's a great big one like Los Angeles. They take $100,000 out. And they got a new director in there now in HUD, and he understands it, and he's trying to get things shifted around so these smaller housing authorities do not get hit as hard as what the big ones do. Because the big ones, $100,000 to them is nothing. To a little place like Belding or some of the smaller ones out there, that's a lot of money, and it really hurts. So hopefully, this new gentleman, Prince is his name, apparently he's real down to earth, doesn't talk in big letters or words or anything. He just kind of looks at things and says, well, this is what we need to do, so we gotta work on it, you know, and hopefully that'll work out for him. That's it.
I haven't had any meetings. Just a reminder though that the Labor Day Committee is having a chicken dinner fundraiser over at the VFW on Friday. You can put in your pre-orders with them or just show up and get your dinners there. Here you go.
Planning Commission doesn't meet till tentatively the 30th.
And I have no other meetings other than the library's coming up next Monday at 5 o'clock. So, we have no unfinished business, and in the new business, we have the appointment of the city manager, Crean.
Resolution number 2015-0433, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Belding, Michigan, appointing Bruce Brown as city manager.
Thank you. Get a motion of support, bring this to the floor.
So moved.
Support.
Tom, start with you. Andy.
No, I'm glad. I think Bruce is doing an excellent job, and had nothing but good comments from people who came in the store, that some of them he's met with and some just by word of mouth. But pretty much everybody that's came in has complimented him and been excited about their conversations with him.
Thank you. Dennis?
You know, I'm in a lot of houses and a lot of businesses every day in the area, and tell you what Tom said, I do the same thing. There's a lot of people that are impressed and happy with what you've done, and are happy with you being, I know some of the business owners I've talked to are thrilled that you've reached out to them, met with them, started building some of those relationships. I feel like the city's becoming more of a partnership and easier to work with, so thank you.
They like the fact that you're an everyday Joe. That's what they like. Yeah. You know, Shirley, I called you on her, emailed you on her, and, you know, I'll get to her next week, and then you email me the next day, and, oh, I've been there already, you know, so, yeah, you're very accessible. And, that goes a long ways in a town like this. So, you sure you wanna do this the whole time now? Okay, thank you.
Jerry?
As long as he gets a vacation the first.
Well, that's fine.
No, it's the same thing as everybody else. I knew what you offered, before as a city manager, and so I expected you would do the same things. And I think in a short period of time, you've had a stake in this community in a short period of time, and that was very important. We got out and talked to, and a lot of communities, a lot of businesses we talked to, and I expected nothing less. So I appreciate that.
One thing I'd like to bring up is that within this resolution, it states that through Bruce's, I guess, fact is that he wants an evaluation in the first 6 months of service, which would be mid-August of 2015. That is still in the resolution, and which is stated, which he originally had talked about. So we are including that, and that is his wish, and I want to thank you also for being on board, and heard very good things, and it's been a pleasure working with you to this point. So, and I'll leave it at that. No, I'm just kidding. It's been great. Thank you, Bruce. Any other discussion? Here now, I'll call for the vote.
Mr. Rallo?
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Scheid?
Yes.
Appointment of City Manager Bruce Brown, passed 5-0. Public comment, anybody wishing to comment on any item, please step to the podium and name and address for the record, please.
Kevin Krieger, 1417 Oakwood Street. I wasn't planning on getting up tonight, but I figured like I kind of had to. I thought another guy was going to show up, but I wanted to say thank you to the city council and the city of Belding in general, and for donors like Johnson Firestein Funeral Home and several others that let us build our disc golf course out of Langdon Bend. We had a big fundraiser this weekend for the Welcome Back Veterans Foundation to help veterans with PTSD who are returning home from duty. We didn't know how well it was going to be received. We filled up very fast. The community was very supportive. We had a full color, or not a full color guard, but a partial color guard there for the opening ceremonies, and the McCormick Foundation volunteered to match our donation by 50%. And so we were we brought out 67 golfers, had a fantastic day, beautiful weather, and raised a little over $4,000 to give back to that foundation, which I went and submitted the check today. So hopefully I can get some pictures for you guys to bring in, but again, I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm very appreciative every day that I get to go out there and play around, so thank you.
Yeah, I think there was you and a crowd out there doing some work on the place before you had this thing
Yeah,
and stuff. And,
community's been great.
people are asking me, it's probably the disc golf course. I think they've got something going on, so they're cleaning it up a little bit. So,
Yes, my wife, that's where I spend most of my free time.
well, it keeps you out of her hair.
That's true.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll close public comment on non-agenda items. Any city manager report?
Well, as I told you today, I like to take a very quiet part of the city council meeting. This is your meeting, not mine, and I generally don't say much. But given the item that we just passed, I need to tell you that this has been a pleasure for me to work here. A good city council, a terrific staff, and the citizens that I've met have been very, very positive about the city, want to see something happen, want to move forward. And so you give me a very easy job. I noticed you didn't include the Mercedes I asked for, but I'll take the job anyway.
We're waiting for Matchbox to send it.
But it's been a good experience, and I'm looking forward to moving forward with all of you as we collectively do something special in the city. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council comments. Mike, start with you.
No, I've got nothing. I've said nothing.
A few things. I was asked to mention that Charnel Rackham's daughter, Tara, is competing as a state finalist in the Miss Preteen pageant, and she's just looking for sponsorships, or if anybody's willing to sponsor her, so I told her I'd make a comment tonight on that. And secondly, I had an opportunity to, one of the council, I had an opportunity to meet with, on my own, with DPW Director Ernie Thomas and Chief Dale Nelson and Chief Greg Moore and Director Dalright Kevin Krieger. To make make it short, what I took from all of them is that we are very lucky to have them. They are very passionate about the city and what they do. They do a lot of work around their departments and never on their own, and they never ask for anything in return. They probably save the cities thousands of dollars by doing things on their own, and especially around the fire department, around City Hall. I'm sure in the police department, the police department's working on drywall, paint, and just fixing things up around there. And just the amount of things that Greg has done with their department and inside and how much money they saved. We are very lucky to have those department heads in our city, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd just like to thank all the city staff for all the hard work they do. And Jerry's right, they do above and beyond what really is needed in those positions. We had a chance to participate in the showcase, and I know Kareem was involved in that, did a lot of work on it. I think it was very successful. I know, I think most of the council was up there and visiting and saying hi, and Bruce was up there, and there again, I had people come up and comment that it was nice to be able to sit and talk with him, and they feel very comfortable with that. I think Bruce has started a healing process in our community. It seems like more people are saying hi to people that before were throwing rocks at each other. Or maybe not to that extent, but you know what I'm saying. But just thanks to all our city staff and Bruce. I think they do a good job. And I think we do have a good town here, and we need to keep working and shaping it. And not to knock the DDA, we have to consider the whole community, not just the downtown, as part of the development of the community to look at and keep viable. It's not a downtown area, it's not a 44 corridor, it's not the factory areas, or the residential areas, it's all one community, and we have to keep that in the back of our mind in whatever development and promotion that has to be done.
Thank you. Yes?
I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Weather kind of changed on us this last week, so it hasn't been pleasant. Kevin, you reminded me, not only mine, a lot of homes and businesses here in our community, but in the surrounding areas. And in the last few weeks, I've gotten several compliments on Smash Park. People love it. They say it's one of the best around. So those people who are involved in that and taking care of that and making that a reality should be very proud. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Tomorrow night, we have a special meeting which has been posted. It is 7 o'clock tomorrow night. It's for a closed session to discuss the lawsuit between Mullendorf versus the city of Belding. That's the reason why we had removed it from the agenda. Trying able to get the attorney here tonight. And on the 28th, we also have a budget workshop at 5 o'clock. That will also be here at the depot. I just want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Light turnout, but because of the weather, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Thank you, Bruce, for your presentation. you and I both know that that was a brief summary of what has taken place, and if anybody wants to see this document, they're welcome to take it with them. This is the document that was presented, or that was produced by the DDA. There are more available, we can get those. So, other than that, can't think of anything else right now. So, good showcase, good turnout, lots of people. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion support, call for a vote.